live with love. It's a pleasure to have you here. So I woke up this morning and I had a different routine that had to go on this morning. So I woke up and I had to start moving much earlier than I would normally start moving. Do you guys ever feel like that? You get in your car and you're like, I am not fully awake yet. So that was me this morning, and I could feel, I've been having these very lucid dreams lately when I wake up. And part of what I could remember was I was in this beautiful town, and this beautiful town had kind of a theater thing going on. So I was there for this theater, I was there for the show. And as I was there, I was taking a look around and wondering if this show, if there's many shows here, if it's just one show. And there was this fog, this really nice mist that was going into the town and then going over these like brick walls. It was kind of almost like a walled city. It was traveling up and over. I could see it as I was looking through this doorway of the village, the town, and then the steam, the water vapor kind of coming up and over and out into the valley area below. And it was pretty beautiful. And occasionally, depending on the dream, sometimes it feels like a vision, sometimes it feels like it's a dream, sometimes it can feel like maybe you've been there before. There was something occurring, I will tell you that. Upon wakening up, I could tell that something was happening energetically. And I can still kind of feel it. I was even asking, like, do I go on live today? Because maybe there's something else that I'm to do today, right? But I do enjoy being here, and I love breathing with you guys and centering on the heart, and that is very valuable for me as well as for you. So here I am. Here you are. Welcome back. If you've been here before, I am Love. It's a pleasure to meet you if you haven't been here before. And some different energies of Earth have been coming in. This morning, I got the opportunity to actually, there was something about connecting more with the trees in the place that I was walking this dog, right? And there was something about listening, about hearing. Took a few moments. I put my hands on the trees, different ones, and there was one where it kind of came into my awareness to just speak to the tree and say, I'm listening. I'm listening. And I'm not listening with my ears, I'm listening with my heart. I'm listening. And I could feel something energetically occurring. And then I looked to the tree next to it, which had no leaves. But I could recognize that that tree is really beautiful. It's one of my favorite kinds of trees. It has these tiny little leaves, like fern-like leaves, but it's a huge, grand tree, and it turns beautiful golden in the fall. And I looked at that tree, and then looked at the trees around in the park, and I was connecting. I could feel it. I could feel this hello. This hello, and me saying hello, just by not necessarily trying to communicate with trees, but more feeling into the heart, like just picturing a vast open heart, and that I'm open for communication, and that I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be a part of all of this. That's what was kind of coming in this morning. And I was just kind of letting myself wander in wonder. We've talked about that a few times on this channel, that ability to wonder, right? And how, as part of my practice for many years, before I started traveling to other parts of America, I would do this thing where I would have this one day where I had a responsibility in the morning. I would drop whoever needed off, dropping off, and then the rest of the day I would allow myself to wonder. I would allow myself to wander. I would allow this. And many synchronistic things would occur. This morning it was very short and sweet. I don't know about synchronistic. I will know that there was definitely a connection happening between me and the trees and the land. And as I was just walking between these townhomes, I found forest. Like out of nowhere, all of a sudden there was forest. There were tall, big pine trees and other big trees, and they were all kind of like lining up a row as I went down this path in these different ways. I didn't know where I was going. I've never even been in that area before. Hey guys, how you doing? Good to have you here. And I just followed. And it was fun because I just realized I hadn't done that in so long, where it feels like a long time. I've been in Colorado since, let's see, about November. Yeah, about November. And I have gone into that wandering kind of thing around New Year's. That's the last time. So this is kind of a long time for me to be in February, almost March, and not gone on like a wandering, and just connect more with the earth and the energies of there, right, that are available to me. So connecting with the earth is coming up. There's something about inner earth. I don't know a lot about inner earth. I asked you guys, I said, hey, if this resonates with you, go ahead and look it up later. And I hadn't looked it up. There's another transmission that came on just as I was popping on here with you guys that had to do with inner earth. Argothia, possibly, is how you say it. Hello, guys. Great to have you here. Thanks for the hearts. Love the hearts. And yeah, there's connecting with the inner earth. There's also connecting with the elemental kingdom. The other day I learned that there were actually galactic elves. Galactic elfin type consciousness. That's a new one for me. So I'm interested to see, as I keep asking that question. Whenever I ask questions, I'm an intuitive that way, that in the way of knowing, that when I ask those questions and I get a little curious, those answers come to me either that day or within the next couple days. Sometimes I wake up at night and all of a sudden it's right there for me. So yeah, we're being asked to connect with the elements for sure. Earth, wind, fire, air. And the earth. We've been talking about water and the water in our body. There's definitely a guidance that's coming in to kind of merge our consciousness with the earth and the elements, to not see ourselves as separate anymore. So it's not an easy thing. You know, the mind will look at a rock and be like, that's just a rock. It's not alive. But the molecules of the rock are constantly moving. And there is life, there is consciousness. It's just it's a different consciousness than we are. And then there are different multi-dimensional planes where different energies exist as well. Hey guys, how you doing? Good to see you. What also is coming in is, do I have any water here? Not very much. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't sure if I was coming on live, guys. My My throat seems to be a little like it's unclogging. There's this idea of purpose. What is my purpose? The age-old question, why am I here? And okay, maybe it's out now. As I was coming on here, there was this one particular person. His name is Aaron Abke. And maybe you guys have seen some of his stuff before. He was talking about like the 4 stages of awareness. So just from his perspective, he came up, there are these 4 stages, and there's waves. The term waves and ocean has been coming in. See, water, waves, energetic waves. Something is connecting here for us. We just came through an eclipse. There's a lot that comes through from the eclipse. The unseen becoming seen again is one thing that pops up. Information that was once hidden, revealed, and this could be in many systems in our life. But those waves that he was talking about, and these 4 stages of egoic awareness or consciousness, like he basically said that you can picture us in an ocean and we're all just kind of floating in the ocean and we're looking for something to hold on to, right? And that would be like 3D, 3 density. Those things are a little bit different, but the lower plane where it's more of survival, right? And the first part of awareness is when you notice that you're floating around and that you're grasping for things, and you start to notice the people around you more. You're not so much concerned with just saving your life. I mean, you are, but you're also noticing the other people floating around too. But you're noticing that they too are in that same survival mode. There's that like first concept of awareness. And then from there, from that awareness, it kind of moves to these other stages. These stages of being able to help yourself. That there must be change. I was writing a little excerpt in my website, and it was amazing what was coming up, because it's like about me, about love, right? Here I am, I got to write about myself. And I had written this one thing, and it sounded beautiful, but I was like, some of this, I got to put more of me in it, because technically it's about me. And that was part of it. That was like, I was almost speaking to you guys, or whoever comes to the website, I was speaking of a gist of kind of my journey. That idea of, oh, this is up to me. Nobody's gonna save me. We often think that there's an outside source that's like an outside, something outside of us is gonna save us. And it's not true. Only we can choose, make the different choices, and decide which path to take, which steps to take. And are we letting our minds run the show, which our beautiful egos love to work with the mind and run the show, or are we breathing into our heart and letting the heart guide us, and then bringing that energy up to the mind so that there's actual conscious action? So that was like the second part, is noticing I'm not going to be saved by anybody else. Regardless of what religion you are, having a savior as part of the religion, no one's going to save you personally except you yourself. Me, myself, and I, right? It's up to us to take the steps. We have the guidance, like Yeshua, you know, there's different Bible guidance out there. There's guidance through Kabbalion. There's like all these different scripts that give us guidance in different ways. And it's on purpose. It's so that there's a lot of enlightened or ascended masters that have been out there that have been able to bring some of that wisdom to us, so that we may, depending on who we are, what personality we are, those different ascended masters will resonate with different people, right? So In the third aspect, the third level is when all of a sudden you want to help everybody. You realize you had to save yourself, but now you're like, okay, I'm on a roll. I've gotten myself on track. Now I want to help all these people and I want to tell them all these things and I want to share all this wisdom that I'm learning. And we often get this kickback, this kickback of oversharing. We're in that spiritual high, and it's the oversharing that happens. And we also come to a place where we realize that before we go out there and we're assisting others, there's still a lot of work to be done within here, within the shadow selves, right? When we talk about self-mastery, we're talking about mastering the selves. We have many different selves throughout our existence. And many times we're leaving pieces of ourself behind. Anytime you've had an argument with someone, you've left a piece of yourself behind. Anytime that there's been some sort of altercation, some sort of fear, sadness, any of the lower polarities, we tend to leave fragments of energy of ourselves behind. If that sounds familiar to you or resonant with you, you may want to look up retrieving your soul fragments and see what comes up for you. Sometimes I'll put links in the bottom, but overall pay attention to the words that I say. There's also something here in the vibration of my words as we speak with each other and that you're receiving at this time and is beneficial for you. So as we move on to from that third level of like egoic awareness rising, we always talk about rising or getting higher. It's not really a hierarchy, but it's this grandness that is you, that you are rising to the occasion. You are stepping up, right? You're stepping into those shoes of I am ready to make a change for myself and I'm ready to make a change for others. That's step 4. So we step out of step 3 where we just want to help, but we realize that, hey, there's still some stuff going on. Not that we have to be totally healed per se to be helping others, but there's an awareness of more work to be done. A step into a different part of consciousness, if you will. A getting closer into the heart. So then we move on to step 4. How do you know you're in step 4? Well, he described it as you've gone through a lot of experiences, you've utilized a lot of tools, and now you're in a place where you've faced your own shadows, you've communed with your shadows, you've loved your shadows, and now you're ready to help others. Now you're ready to bring forth something new, and that's going to look different for everybody. I just thought it was really interesting, the different steps. I was like, yeah, that's really correct. How I was basically writing this storyline of who I am so that when people come to my website, they have an idea of me, even if they haven't seen me live before, and what they're getting themselves into. Like, what am I participating in? Like, how is she going to show up for me, and how am I going to show up for her when we gather in these communities on a weekly basis? I'm really excited to know the answer to that too. I'm a very fly by the seat of my pants kind of gal. So, and I've never made a curriculum before. I've had a couple people talk to me about curriculum, like how you can set up, people do courses, and I'm still not sure if that's what I'm here for. I'm definitely here to guide you guys through your breath, connect to your heart. I learned this morning, if you're interested in this part, if you have a connection to the stars, if you've ever looked up at the stars and thought, home. Have you ever thought that? Home. There's home. I was really resonant. I still am with the movie E.T. Because I feel like we're all calling forth home. It's just that a lot of the time we think it's someplace else. And home is here. Home is right in the heart. We have a connection, though, to the cosmos. We are made of stardust. We are also made of the cells of the earth. And so our connection lies there as well. And we are that bridge between heaven and earth. We're that meeting point, that energetic column. We hold this light wherever we go. And we spread this light to the areas that we're in. So if you think you've ever been sidetracked or detoured, like physically, on the road, and you maybe get a little frustrated as to why you've been detoured, know that it's for a reason that those detours exist. Sometimes it's keeping you from some sort of catastrophe. Sometimes it's leading you a different way because there is energy needed in that particular area. And that love that you are spreading that energy to those areas that you are detoured to. So anytime there's some sort of like delay and you're like, what is going on here? Know that there's a reason. The universe always has a reason for everything that happens, even the not so great stuff. There are things to be learned. There are things to bring discernment, to step into using healthy boundaries. There are, let's see what else. There are reasons for kind of a pause, even sometimes, what they call hermit mode. There's a reason for the standstill. But a good question to ask too is, are you keeping yourself still as well? Are you unintentionally or intentionally stopping your growth? That is a whole other thing that I'm going to be looking into, because it seems like that's definitely been a part of my journey. Or just like, hand it to me, universe, I'm ready. And then like, where is it? Where'd it go? Like, where is it? And really, like when Aaron Apke was talking about that last stage of I'm ready to step in, that's where we have courage. That's where courage comes in, a courage that we always have. We're kind of like Dorothy. We always have the ability to go home, to tap those ruby slippers or silver slippers if you look at the books, because I'm a book person, and we're always able to be home. We never go anywhere, really. If you think about the movie Wizard of Oz, it appeared that she went to another realm. When she woke up, she was in her room. So she was able to exist in different places at once, right? She thought she was alone on her journey, that she'd have to do it all by herself. But along the way, she found guidance. She found friendship. She found those willing to protect her, right? Those are your guides. Those are the guides that are constantly surrounding you. She got to see the scarecrow and how, and the Tin Man, and the lion, how they all had aspects that lied directly within herself. And they all had aspects where they all told themselves a story that they didn't have this thing, that they were missing something, they were lacking something. And that's all of you too. We do that on a regular basis, where we feel like we're lacking in something. We might even blame ourselves. What do they say? Crucify yourself, right? Is that an old song that I used to listen to? Tori Amos. There's this like sorrow that we want to hold on to, or we've been holding on to the sorrow so long that we don't know what we would be like without that sorrow. But the important thing is we have the guidance. We're like Dorothy. We have the guidance coming in, protecting us, safeguarding us. It's very true, kind of what they say in the Bible about, you will never be given anything. I'm not exactly sure the words if you're a Bible person, but you will never be given anything that is too hard for you to handle, right? And then there's that whole analogy of people asking, where were you? Where were you, God, when this was happening to me and this is happening to me? And they're like these footsteps in the sand, right? And I noticed that when this happened and it was the hardest time in my life, those footsteps were not there, right? This is just a way to make the universe and God and, you know, everything that goes along with that in the Bible, like more physical, more of a, you know, what do they call it? Parody? An example of how to live life, right? So here, you know, you have the human blaming, blaming like, instead of themselves, they're blaming like an external source, right? And that whole story about, well, that's when I carried you. When you were down and out and you saw one set of footprints, that's when I carried you, right? And what we don't realize is that we're constantly being carried. It's up to us to take the steps in the direction that we are going, but we are energetically being carried through this evolution in consciousness. We are being fully supported. There are ones like me. There are other ones that have been out there for longer than me, possibly since 2012, which was a big turning point for all of us. And then 2020, 21, huge turning points. And now in the year of the fire horse, things are moving fast. They're going to be moving fast. We've thought so far, if some of you have felt it, that time is just, wow, like there doesn't seem to be enough time. And there is, but there isn't. Like it's kind of the construct that we make, right? And things are just going to be moving quicker. So it's really important right now to like focus, center on where you want to go, write down that plan. I'm going to say that one more time because there's a lot of people here that don't like to write things down. If you want, speak it to AI. Have AI make it really clear for you where you want to go in this year. You know, take a moment and get very clear on where you want to be. Most of my floating around and going and connecting with the land was very valuable. But in the last couple of years, some of it was a constant like, when is it going to show up? And you know when it shows up? It's when you start moving in that direction. It's when you start taking the small steps to get you there. If you want to live in a certain place, start taking the small steps to get you there. Start decluttering. Start keeping only the things that you really want, that are really like, that bring you joy, and decide to get rid of the rest, right? Start making space for the new to come in. Yeah, some of that was coming in November, December. That was a big energy of getting rid of clutter physically and energetically. Like, what are you ready to let go of that you've been holding on to for quite some time? All right, I'm just gonna see if there are any questions here. Hi guys, thanks for joining me. Roots, trees, waterfalls, and stars. Interesting you say that. So this morning I did a starseed quiz. It's the same person that I've gone through with like the sacred womb, sacred holy death code, and who I'll be joining in what is called the resurrection code in the spring. Yeah, it's definitely been, the energy's been coming in to like join that, so I will. But speaking of roots, trees, and waterfalls and stars, her name is Kelly Kolodny. Yes, she's known as the Angel Lady. She channels Archangel Raphael. And on her website, there is a place that when you, I don't know if you have to sign up for email or not, but there's a free community there. And when you sign up for that free community, or maybe in addition to, there's an actual page that says something about wondering what kind of starseed you are. And as we're talking about the stars and being stardust and connection to the cosmos, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this and see what it says, because I have a knowing from the very beginning of my awareness path what galactics I was connecting with. And it was in a very different way. It was simply like certain YouTube channels were showing up and I'm like, wow, yeah, I really feel at home there. Like I feel I can feel that there's something there, like I was a part of that. There are other ones out there who remember like their past lives. They remember, they see different things, in their dreams. They're, astro traveling. We're all astro traveling, but not all of us are aware of it when we wake up in the morning. So I'm definitely getting a little bit more in sync with something like that, where I'm starting to feel like, okay, something's definitely going on energetically. But if you're curious about what star origin you might have, she's got a little thing on there, and don't get too much in your mind about it. I started noticing that I was getting a little bit too much in the mind, because I'm like, well, that's true, and that's true, and that's true. And you get to pick 2 out of like 6 options for these different places. And one of the things is like, do you have a connection with the earth? Are you here to radiate love? Are you here to bring the frequency of the divine? And so those are some of the ones that I picked. And there were other ones that were resonant too, like which sacred places are you feeling most home in? And they showed the pyramids, and they showed all this architecture, these columns, and I was drawn to them. And I had this idea of, am I picking for who I am now? Or is this like, some of this have to do with like what I've been attracted to like from the time I was a kid? And so there was a little bit of mind coming in there, like almost as if I could choose wrong, and there's no wrong choice. Whatever I am meant to choose at the time will be the answer that comes through in the end. So I was happy to see that I was part of the Pleiadian star system, which also has to do with Lemuria, which makes sense. And it listed it there, like you might have found yourself in these places. Mount Shasta was one of them. And I thought it was interesting because I just canceled my Mount Shasta gym membership because I was like, I'm not there now, and if I'm there later, I can always renew the membership. But here it was telling me, oh, even Greece is one, Delphi. I've never been to Greece, but it has been one that has come up in the last, just like Peru did. So I'm kind of curious, like, will Greece come to me just like Peru did in Shasta? That shaman that I got to have session with? I wonder. So yeah, find out if it interests you. For a long time, I was like, I don't need to know that stuff. I don't need to know what starseed I am. I don't need to know how many lives I've had or what I did in that life. Because to me, what matters is now. There's nothing else but now for this human experience, right? So what good does it do for me to know all these things? There are times where knowing about a past life or having a past life regression, having quantum hypnosis therapy, if you're interested in any things I'm saying, look them up. Dolores Cannon. There's someone named Candace, Beyond Quantum Healing, that's come up a few times, so that might be something for you to look into. I've had a quantum healing session before. I would like to have another one. I actually met someone in Colorado that does have these sessions, so that's like a reminder to me. I'm talking about it. Quantum hypnosis. To know about, or to have your higher self take you to those areas in your life, because it might explain something in your current life, something that you've been stuck on, something that you feel a pull towards, but you're not sure why. It came up today for me to have a session on my purpose. And I think a lot of that is because I'm wondering, what am I going to bring forth to all of you when I see you in community in the memberships that I'm creating online, right? There'll be some of you here from my live, and I'm curious. What am I to bring forth to all of you? What is it that is needed to just kind of help you along, basically, like to shed a light on some things that you already know. All of this you already know, but it really does help us to know that there's someone else out there that is going through it together with us, even though it's in a different way. We're all going through it together, and there's that support system. There's the like, I got you, like, come here for a second. Right? That whole thing where you have a friend come over and be like, come on, let me give you a hug for a second. Like, it's going to be okay, right? We're going to figure this out. What are you interested in? What have you been drawn to? Okay, here, I have this source for you. That's something I can do. What's been going on in your life? All right, I got this, this, and this. These tools can help you. Try them out and then come back to me and let me know how it went. Like, how far did you go? Did anything stall or did you get stuck on something? And then come back to me and we'll talk about it some more. That's kind of me. Like, if you're here with me, you're here for those resources, the ones I've accumulated over the years and that I have to share with everybody. Hello from Chile. Hello. How pink am I? I am super pink. I'm not fuchsia though. My hair used to be fuchsia. You're a sailor. You don't have to imagine the ocean. I've always wanted to try that. What would it be like to live on the ocean? But then there are those storms. Hello from Brazil. Hello. Wonderful to meet you. Hello, Turkey. Hello. I love that you guys are all here. We got some people that are proclaiming their love for Yeshua. Awesome. All right. Looks like the trolls are hot and heavy today, huh? All right. So we're going to take the rest of this time to breathe together. Okay. Just taking a quick look. Wonderful. You're in church right now. I often felt that too. When someone gave me a hard time about meditating once. I had a life coach for about 2 years. It was during the hardest times of, and I wrote this in my bio on my website too, just yesterday. There must be some reason why this is coming up, but it was like one of the hardest times of trying to shift the way I was looking at the world, shifting my lens, basically. If you ever been into old-timey photography and creating photographs, there are different lenses. Just like in Photoshop and digital media right now, there are different lenses that allow you to see the world in a different way. So if you're not liking what you're seeing, put on a different lens. How can you look at the world in a different way? What if it's not how you think it is? How can you change your perspective? And see what happens. Have fun with it. Experiment a little bit. Play around when things happen and be like, oh, if I didn't see this as a bad thing, how would this be a good thing? There's this, there's that. I used to do this with people that would create like some activation in me where I'd be a little triggered or upset, or I used to look at them at one point and be like, wow, they have beautiful eyes. Or that color looks really good on them. Even though whatever was happening in front of me, I would just find these little ways to help my mind calm down, because the mind has a lot to do with your nervous system. So, and it often will take you in a place that is not conducive to the energy that you would like to hold in your heart. And if you're here, you are resonant with heart energy. So let's breathe into that heart energy. I have a frequency on in the background that I want you to feel into. You have a frequency you came in here with. Take a deep breath. and release. Just from that one breath, just notice, just feel. Before I turn up the frequency, I want you just to feel your breath. Feel the rise and fall of your chest. Maybe close your eyes. It helps reduce the amount of external stimulation. You can almost imagine yourself moving your eyes to like the left or the right, and that those eyes are continuing around to the back of your head, and then dropping into the back part of your heart chakra. Take a moment and just breathe there. Breathe in and breathe out. How is your body feeling today? Where are you? Gauge yourself on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, and whatever you are, don't judge it. Just notice, this is where I am today. Or rather, this is where I am this moment. Because we really can't base the whole day on just these different times, these different moments that happen in our life. This is where you are right now. Right now, you're listening to my voice. You're breathing in and out. Your heart is beating. Your mind is following your breath. If there are any thoughts, you are allowing those thoughts to come and go. Like clouds, like waves on the ocean, like the ripple onto the shore. Breathe in. Pause. Release. Let all the air out of your body, allowing the navel to go back towards the spine. And then breathe in. Pause. Smile. Release. Letting all the air out of the belly again. Pausing at the bottom. Breathing in. Pause. Feel the frequency. Release. And just breathe normally. I'm going to give us a bit of time without me speaking. Feel into the silence of you. Feel into the frequency being brought to you in the background. This frequency is all about you already have what you need. That's what this frequency brings forth. You already have what you need. So, listen, breathe, and feel. pay attention to how your body is responding. Feel. Can you feel the energy surrounding you? Is there a tingling sensation within your hands, your spine? Can you feel the flow of the frequency? The attunement of the cells of your body. Breathe in. Breathe out. It's all here. It's all here for you. In these waves, in these sounds, in your breath. Deep breath in and release. Notice, are there any adjustments in your body? Did you feel your spine move a little bit? Release a little bit. Has the tension in your jaw softened? Have your shoulders relaxed down? Are you seated deeper into the surface you are on? Is there a light within your heart? Take a deep breath and expand that light. Expand it throughout your whole body, all its systems, the bones, the blood, the organs, the fascia tissue. Can you feel your fascia tissue release in different areas? Let us start at the feet. If you do not know what fascia is, simply know that you are receiving exactly what you are to receive at this time. That there's nothing to do. Just allow and breathe with every breath. There is fascia releasing. There are threads unwinding, releasing tension. Tension from experiences you've had while you've been here. Let's release those out of the feet first. Moving up the leg, the ankles, the lower part of the knee, sending some love to our knees, to the cartilage within our knees, to the muscles, the strength, the tendons, the flexibility, the ability to bounce back. feel. Feel the gratitude and appreciation for the knees, for the feet, for the foundation and stability that is given. Appreciate where you are now in regards to your mobility. Appreciate. That is going to be different for everyone. Appreciate where you are now, not where you want to be, not where you were, where you are right now. Send the love of the heart down to those areas of the knees and the lower legs, feet, moving on up through the upper legs to the hips, breathing in and breathing out, unwinding, untangling fascia tissue, fascia release. That's what this is. This is an energetic fascia release. Interesting, huh? Energetically unbinding, releasing, realigning the hips, the legs, knees, ankles, feet, a realignment, a retuning of those threads of muscles, tendons, fascia tissue is what is taking place at this time. Bringing those energies of release to the areas of the lower part of the body, going into the sexual organs. Think healthy pink tissue. Through, in, and out. Healthy pink tissue. Healthy organs. Healthy digestion. And taking that healthy digestion all the way up to the navel and above the navel at the solar plexus. That idea of release, of flow coming back, of restriction moving into expansion. Breathe. Appreciate. Bring the energy, the light of the heart, into this area now. Lighting it up. And just feeling expansion, openness, release, wholeness, worthiness, completeness. Moving up to the heart. Pay attention to all the muscles, skeletal system, tendons, ligaments, fascia tissue of the back. Any areas up through the spine, realignment, readjustment, a fine-tuning of the neurological threads to be able to receive more in frequency. Spiraling energy coming through as you breathe in through the heart, energy from up above, and below, joining you at the heart now. The support of the cosmos, the support of the earth, Gaia. Breathe in and breathe out, releasing from the shoulder blades, in between the shoulder blades, underneath the armpit, releasing the fascia, unraveling, untangling, creating space with our breath. Nothing forced, just allowing. It's all being done in the background. Breathe in and breathe out. If you feel to move your shoulders a little bit, or your spine, while your eyes are closed, while you are breathing, feel free to do so. You will notice some adjustments. Possibly turn your head from left to right, noticing the neck, the top areas of the shoulders, anything that can be released at this time, anything we've been holding on to. Do you put the weight of the world on your shoulders? It's time to just let it roll off. We are here to support you at this time. A realignment of the shoulders, a balancing and equalizing. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel the spine, up through the neck, up through the brainstem, the pituitary gland. Feel this connection of the area of the base of that spine at the base of the head. And bring golden light into that pituitary gland. We are awakening areas. We are expanding the space for your abilities. Just breathe. Bring your breath into the pituitary gland. This mini brain, often overlooked. Breathe and release. Allow this golden light to fill the full organ of the brain equally. There is no right side or left side. All is working as one. Breathe in to your new brain. Breathe out appreciation, gratitude, and love. Breathe in to your new skeletal system. Breathe out appreciation, gratitude, and love. Breathe in to your new digestive system. Breathe out gratitude, appreciation, and love. Breathe in to your new neurological systems. Breathe out in gratitude, appreciation, and love. Breathe in to your new pulmonary system. Breathe out gratitude, appreciation, and love. Take a deep breath into all of your new systems. Take a deep breath out. Sending love to every tendon, muscle, cartilage, fascia tissue, organ, system, cell. Let us send appreciation to the organ of skin. Breathe in. Breathe out. Can you appreciate that which holds all those systems, all those other parts of you together in this form? Regardless of how you feel about this form, can you appreciate what this form has allowed you to experience in your lifetime now? What have you enjoyed experiencing? This can be at any age. Bring appreciation and bring love. This is the wholeness of who you are. Breathe in and release. All is complete. Wiggle your fingers. Place your hand on your heart. Feel. And as you open your eyes, know that you are renewed, that you have received something here now that was beneficial for you. Feel into the truth of these words. Feel into the satisfaction, the appreciation, and smile. Okay. Take a little look around. All right. Hope that felt good for you guys. That was different for me. I've never actually performed a energetic fascia release. Yeah. It's right up there with working with the cells of the body, which I have experience in. All right. right, I'm going to leave you guys there. I have one quote that I'm going to give you for your day. Break free and let go of how you should act. Lead with your heart, and don't worry about what others may think. With your heart as your guide, trust that your actions serve a higher good. Trust. Trust that you know, even when you say you don't know. Trust. All right, my lovelies. I will be taking a break, a pause off tomorrow's 11:11 Pacific time, as I'm preparing some things that are to come and getting together with a friend. So, I love you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Smile. See if you get smiles back, and even if you don't, keep up that smile. And I'll see you again at 11:11 Pacific time on Saturday. I love all of you. And as always, we are one. One breath, one light, and one love. Enjoy your day.